Great evening. Great evening. That was indeed Tiffany Bournier. It is indeed another episode of Begin Again. I am your host, Dr. Ray Johnson, here with my lovely bride tonight. Dear, why don't you tell them who you are?
Hey, I'm Tish.
Well, I happen to be an author, educator, and certified relationship and leadership development coach. And then, dear, why don't you tell them who you are and what you do with that?
I am a woman of God, a worshiper, and a woman in love with this man. I always like to say I'm a work in progress because,
Well, you forgot writer.
Yeah, you know what? Because if Pastor Gladys is watching, she gonna get me.
Worshiper, writer,
Worshiper, writer, woman of God, woman in love with this man, and a work in progress.
And I happen to be a man that is also indeed in love with this woman. And we're gathering tonight for Begin Again. We call it a much needed conversation of sometimes of necessary endings, but also new beginnings. And so thank you all for taking time. It's going to be a very interesting episode here on tonight. And as soon as you see this, go ahead and share it and grab as many people in as you can as we get started on tonight. Let us know which platform you're watching from. We got a whole lot going on with all of the stuff that we are engaged with on this evening. But we're glad that you all are here. And so this is indeed Begin Again. And so, honey, all too often our culture makes decisions to enter into relationships based upon contractual or obligatory responsibilities. And so tonight we're talking a little bit about how couples can stay aligned. And when they stay aligned, I often say the divine is involved and engaged with it. But there are a couple of things that need to happen and take place in regards to that too at the same time. The idea of what we bring to the table, physical features, does the intimacy meet our fantasies, fetishes, and our feelings? But when heaven has a totally different design for why couples become aligned. And so tonight, we want to take a few minutes to discuss alignment for couples. Whenever couples are aligned, the divine is able to be seen and the power of heaven on earth is released. And so I really believe that when we're aligned properly, when we're lined up right, the way that God has designed us to be, that heaven is released on earth. And it's not all of these other ideas that we have about why it is that we come into relationships. Before we get all the way into this tonight, why do you think we have all of these kind of what I call false notions and expectations that couples put on relationships in terms of coming together? Why do you think that is in terms of the times in which we're in?
Well, it's cultural. Because it's what's around us. And I think we might have talked about this before.
Sure.
We look at what's around us, what's speaking to us. There are many voices, the Bible tells us, that have gone out into the world, and none are without significance.
Yeah.
We are hearing voices, we're seeing things, whether it's social media, whether it's TV. Our parents and grandparents grew up watching soap operas, and so we have an idea of how relationships are supposed to work. But in many of those soap operas, you had so many games being played. I don't know how anybody got relationship advice out of it, because it was always a bunch of drama. And so for some of the relationships, there is way too much drama and not enough decision making about this is the type of person I need, this is the type of person I want, and this is what pleases God.
Right.
So we really have to get a handle on where are we getting our information from when we choose to be with someone else.
Yeah, that right there is a key in and all of itself by itself. Where are we getting our information from when we choose to be in a relationship with someone else? And so tonight, we want to discuss keys of alignment for couples. Whenever couples are aligned, like I said before, the divine is able to be seen and the power of heaven on earth is released. And so I want to talk a little bit tonight about what are the critical keys that keep couples aligned? What are the critical keys that keep couples aligned? I'm going to start with this first one, and that's purpose. And what I mean by that when I say purpose is, we must remember our why. We can always remember why we are together. What is your assignment as a couple on earth? Not just you as a person, not just your spouse as a person, but what you all are together as a couple. A lot of times we forget that there is a contractual, if I would say, business branding entity related to the marriage relationship. That there is something special about it when you're coming together that you represent in the earth, that you're going to leave a legacy. I'm getting ahead of myself. You'll leave a legacy behind you. How will you be remembered? And a lot of times when we're coming into the marriage relationship, we're coming into the idea of me getting my needs met, her getting her needs met. rather than serving the other person, but we haven't dared to ask the question, what does God want?
Mm.
Or how will we together be known? I often say a lot of times that I'm word, you worship. And then sometimes it switches. I become worshiping you word, that kind of thing, from a branding standpoint. And I say that to say this: all businesses are in our economy today are family names.
Mm-hmm.
Sam Walton with Walmart, family names, JP Morgan and Chase. When you start thinking about business entities, they are just nothing but family names. What will the family name of your marital relationship be known as when you leave the planet? And so remembering your why is critically important in terms of, is this person aligned with my why? And before I look at getting engaged and getting involved with them, go ahead and start. You might want to share on that.
Oh, I'm sitting here listening. I was thinking about the family name and how do we really sit down to talk about what are we building together? What are we building together?
That's
Because we talk about having a 5-year plan. We talk about even when we do the focus on the family, is it focus on family, where we do the Constitution and we're writing down, this is who we are. I believe you used to talk about that coat of armor, the shield, or you had some values that your family upheld, and everyone in the family understood what those values were.
Yes.
Unfortunately, families don't really sit down together because of schedules, because of timing. We don't really sit down together and talk anymore at the dinner table. It's a lost art. It's something that's not really happening. And we can be very much guilty of it too, because we're very, very busy. And the children are older. And so as they get older, you don't have that time that you're coming together and you're looking after them real closely, because they, teenagers and young adults have their own ideas of how they want to spend their time.
Right.
But we've got to we've got to get back to the place of conversations around the table, or meeting together, or having some kind of agreement time where we come in and say, hey, what are we doing? Where are we going? What are your plans? What do you like? But having the conversation, many times we don't know how to talk to each other. Whether it's to our children or children to us, they don't even know what to say, because they see mom and dad, or stepmom and stepdad, or bonus dad, bonus mom working, but they don't know if they're working together or not. They just know that they're there.
Right.
So there needs to be
you at least would hope that they would know that they're there, which is why it's so important to have the conversations about vision and future, about where we're headed, about who we're going to be, about why we are together. What does the family name mean? And even in blended context, it doesn't necessarily mean that because there are different last names that are in the house. For example, like we're in a blended context, but this is still a Johnson household. And so what we've got to make sure that we do is we start talking about why this is important, because believe it or not, young people are watching you. You are modeling before them about who it is that they are going to be, and whether or not they want to model their relationships and family dynamics after what they've seen you do. And so I think that's so important when couples are aligned. And so a couple of critical keys that keep couples aligned is talking about purpose. Number 2, I'm going to jump into this one early. And this one is about perspective. This one is about perspective. How do you and your spouse see the world, and are your values aligned? When you share the same values, confrontations and disagreements are easily solved. It's because you agree on standards. So when I start talking about perspective, I'm talking about this from the standpoint of, how do we see the world around us, and how do we make decisions? And so when we have agreement in that area, we're less likely to be involved with a lot of disagreements that go on around us. We're less likely to have those kinds of things that will happen and will show up in our lives. Go ahead, Cheryl, and give me a couple of thoughts on that before we bring our guests in for tonight.
Well, when I think about how couples can be aligned, the very first thing I think about, I love acronyms.
Yes.
But that A in align says agreement. If one or two cannot agree with God, how are you going to agree with each other?
Wow.
So there has to be agreement. If you're going to have any kind of alignment, you have to know what you're agreeing to. First of all, you've got to agree with God. I love what Brother Mike Hall said the other day. And he put it in the male perspective. Sister Marilyn was saying, Mike said, if a man is not leading you towards God, he's leading you astray.
Yeah.
But we have to agree on, what are we pursuing as a couple together? What are we pursuing? What are we going after? What do we really want in the relationship? And we have to agree on that, because agreement, there is power in agreement.
Power in agreement.
And we always talk about Psalm 133, behold how good and pleasant it is for a brethren to dwell together.
Yeah.
And then by the time you get to the end of that chapter, he says, there, where there's agreement, there God commands the blessing.
Wow.
We want the commanding of God's blessing in our households and in our relationship.
Absolutely.
But it comes through unity.
Comes through unity, the power of agreement. Even when I get to I'm gonna jump in. I'm gonna do my last one on this one real quickly. Priorities. Couples, critical key for couples to stay aligned. Number one, they've got to have the right perspective. Two, purpose is critically important. Three, what are your priorities? When couples agree about their priorities and focuses, it will keep the relationship aligned. This all goes back to this idea you talked about being at the table. Are we having conversations with each other at the table so that the relationship is clear about who we're going to be, even how we're going to get there, and the way that we're going to actually do business. And for us, business is family. I think that's so important. Go ahead and share another one of yours. Go ahead.
And really, we need to learn one another. Sometimes we don't take the time to learn each other. And so that's how quickly you become roommates. You talk about bills, you talk about what happened, but you really don't learn each other's heart. You don't learn each other's perspective. And if you don't take time to learn one another, you're running into this situation where you come, you go, and you start taking advantage of the fact that the person is there. You take it for granted. And when you start taking someone for granted, it can be felt. And we have to be very careful that we learn one another. We listen to one another. And we look out for one another. Yes.
Tonight, we're talking about how important it is when couples are aligned. And I believe that whenever couples are aligned, the divine is able to be seen. I mean, heaven is able to be seen on earth, and the power of God is released when couples are in alignment with each other. And as a result, we're talking about a couple of critical keys. We talked about purpose a little bit tonight, a little bit about perspective a little bit tonight, and priorities. Now, I got some gurus who are sitting here in the background that we're going to bring into the forefront in just a minute here and bring them on in. I'm not going to tell y'all who they are. Some of you may have seen them real fast, real quick. But before I bring them in, and I want to add this into the stage, honey, there's a couple of things that happens with couples when, let's see if I can do it that way there, that ends up causing relationships not to work as well as they should or as well as they could. And so I'm gonna just make this a little bit larger on the screen because I got you covered up some kind of way, which I don't want to do. So I'll just do it like this because I don't want to bring them in too soon. And so this is what can cause relationships to kind of go awry. Number one, he turns small annoyances into deep resentment. Satan gets in there and causes the relationships not to work well. And so this becomes a habit that could have been discussed calmly. Let me see if I can move this out of the way. A habit that could have been discussed calmly becomes something you silently replay in your head. You stop seeing it as a small issue and you start seeing it as proof that your spouse does not care. That's what Satan ends up doing to cause couples to come unaligned. That's number one. Number two, it makes you assume the worst about each other. He gets right in there and starts messing with. I see you nodding your head. Go ahead and give a couple of thoughts on that one before I keep going.
Oh, it's just the truth. It's the truth. It's little things too. It's not huge, big things. It's little things that can get on your nerves. Like, oh, he don't care. I told him not to do that. I told him not to leave up the seat. He don't care. He just wants me to fall in.
Well, why you had to put that in there? Why you had to put that in?
It's the little, but it's little things like that. And they get magnified.
Right.
And if they're not addressed, then they start to build,
resentment.
Resentment, but it builds offense. And when you get those offenses piling up, you've got a great big wall that you're gonna have to deal with and get across or get over in order to really come back into agreement one with the other. Because you're not trying to hear somebody that you're resenting.
You certainly
there's no way you can. You're not trying to learn them. You're just passing time.
You're just passing time.
Just passing the time.
Just passing the time. That is what you said there is so good. Let me jump back into this before I bring our gurus out. And then here is number three. what Satan does when he pulls couples apart, he kills gratitude before he kills love. And so you stop noticing what your spouse does right. You stop appreciating effort. You stop valuing the small things. What once felt like kindness starts feeling normal, taken for granted, then not quite enough, then nothing. Then this is one of the quietest ways love begins to fade, when you start taking each other for granted. Number 4, he makes pride stronger than repair. You become the last one to say, I'm sorry. You won't apologize. You think you'd be into, no one wants to take the soft approach and do the reaching out first to reconcile the relationship. And then number 5, he replaces intimacy with distraction. And so what used to be close together, now you're distracted by everything that's going on your phone, television, environments, kids, everything that's happening on around you. These are things that causes alignment not to happen in relationships. And so tonight we're just talking about that in terms of how do we keep couples aligned? Because I believe that when couples are aligned, the divine happens. God's power is seen on earth. As you can see, we got our power couple shirts on tonight with the areas of alignment. Now we've got something special for you all tonight. Let me go over here to the comment section. Put your comments in. I see Sister Sheila saying good evening.
Good evening,
Johnny
Sheila.
saying, what is this? This is Begin Again, Johnny, that we're in on tonight. And then there are a couple of other people. He's trying to say, stop talking. And then we got a few others that have jumped in with us in here on tonight. Maybe we'll be a little quiet for Johnny, because we got some gurus that know a little more than we do on tonight. They are our marriage coaches. Let me see if I can get them in here on tonight. There they are. This is the McDowells on tonight. You guys go ahead and unmute yourself, and you guys can start talking tonight a little bit tonight. Good to see you all, my man, Coach
Good
Dwight.
evening. How's everybody? Good evening.
Good to see you.
Can you hear us okay?
Tonight. Say again. Go ahead.
Can you hear us okay?
We can hear you fine. We can hear you
We've
fine.
been enjoying the show so far.
Yes.
And,
y'all could have kept talking.
Yeah, we would have just thank y'all for inviting us and having us on. And for all the viewers and those that will maybe chime in later, it's a pleasure. I'm Dwight. This is my wife, Angela McDowell. Most people know us as coaches Dwight and Angela. And I don't know who these guru people they were talking about. We just love marriage, and
That's y'all.
Yeah, we've been, we've studied it for a while. We've been married. I told my wife the other day, we're going to have an anniversary in a month or so, and we'll be celebrating our 36 and a half year anniversary.
Wow.
In a half years.
Wow.
37 year will be November, but I like to keep up with any time the 27th of the month comes. And so July 27th, that's when I met her nearly 37 years ago. And just a little background, we don't have this long story. We met and married in 4.5 months. So now we don't advise everybody to do that, because we didn't know the Lord when we first got started, and God had to come in and save us. And so, but it just helped us, and here we are 37 years later, and I'll look her right in the face and I'll tell everybody I'm passionately in love with her. I also tell people all the time, my wife is not, I'm always in love. She's not always in love with me. I'm always in love with her, because that's the word that God says to me. But she always loves me. She's not always in love with me. And that means I get a chance to win her back to me. And so it just works for us. And so we're honored that y'all will allow us to be guests tonight. They gave us a moment where we could share. And so we came up, one of the ones that we study a lot and that we get a chance to share around in various states and different countries is communication matters. I am going to defer to my wife to kind of get us going there, because she is the smarter of the two. And my wife is a marriage and family therapist, and I am a resident marriage and family therapist. And I am a certified life coach in relationships. So we get a chance to study it. We get a chance to walk it out. We get a chance to, I tell my wife all the time, we don't have time to be mad at each other for long periods of time, because we got to talk, we got to coach other marriages. And so I thank God that God has brought us to a place that our communication is strong enough that we can just share what we're going to share with each other. And some things that would hurt most couples' feelings when one shares, we've learned that we're not trying to hurt each other's feelings. We love each other. We want each other to be better. So we've learned how to communicate in that way. And then I believe it came to once we learned to look at the definition of hearing versus listening. So hearing is one of those things that everybody can do that. If you got ears, you can hear vibrations. You can close your eyes and you can kind of hone in on what you hear. Sometimes you can even describe it. But when you listen, and my wife you can give us the definition if you have it. But the listening, that means you got to be attentive. You got to pay attention to what they're saying, so that you can relate to it, or so that you can use it to go forward.
Communication in a nutshell, and hopefully this is okay with the Johnsons. But this is what it is. Couples get in trouble because they don't communicate well. Okay, they don't communicate well. They communicate how they want to communicate. We have a selfish nature. We want what we want. We want to say what we want to say, and direct the relationship the way we want it to go, and it should be okay. But it doesn't work that way. So communicating, or being able to communicate, is a lifelong process.
Yeah,
it's a lifelong process. So, like my husband just said, one of the things we have a journal coming out. It's called the 8 Ways to Communicate, and we have these 8 ways, but we hit, mainly 3 of them most of the time. And one of the 3 that we hit is hearing versus listening. There's a difference. You can hear someone, but not understand what they're saying. You can hear a noise, when you're upstairs or when you're in the house and you hear a noise. The first thing you say as a human is, "What was that? What was that noise?" So you can hear somebody saying something like vibrations or whatever the case may be, but you don't understand what was said.
That's good.
So that's hearing. I hear noise. I hear vibrations. I hear sound. All you need is your ears for that. You don't need no brain power to hear. You need brain power to listen.
Yeah.
If you're listening to understand, then you're using your whole body to understand what your spouse is trying to say.
When you listen, it's psychological.
Yes.
It's relational. It means that you interpret the meaning, the emotion, everything about it. Like my wife says, you got to have your whole body in it to get that. So that's why sometimes
you need a lot of brain power to listen. You don't need any to hear.
Little small kids will get you when they're hearing. You be like, and finally one day they say, "Mom, Dad, what did I say?" And you have no clue because all you did was hear the mumbling or the vibration. But when you listen, it takes everything. You got to pay attention. You got to focus. You got to hone in. Go ahead, baby. I love the definition of listening because I had to learn that thing.
Right, because I'll ask him now. I said, "Honey, are you hearing me?" He said, "Yes, I hear you." I said, "But are you listening to me?" I get him with it every time.
She does.
And he gets me sometimes as well. I'm like, "I apologize. I heard you, but I was not listening." I admit it.
See that big part? She said, "I apologize." Same thing to me, but we don't get to the place like, "Yeah, I did." We said, "You go and check and see how many arguments go on that." Yeah, proving that I heard you, and you really didn't. You heard them, you didn't listen to them, and so we had to get to a place like, "Babe, I'm sorry. Can you start over?" We had to get to the point to my wife because I'll say, "I'm sorry. I wasn't listening. I heard you," and she'll be like, "Never mind." I said, "Babe, you can't say never mind because I told you. I admitted that I'm not. My communication is not mattering right now. I only heard you. I wasn't listening." So she said, "Okay." I said, and then babe, please repeat it again. So because I want to listen wholeheartedly and attentively. So,
and I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I just don't want to forget that the other thing that we always talk about with our couples and communicating is 3 things that we try not to say. Or if you do say it in a way that's loving, is always, never, and why. Right? Baby. Always, never, and why.
Tell them why, baby.
You always doing such and such. You always say this, or you always do this. It might be often, but it's not always. And it's really critical when you start talking about criticizing your spouse and using those type of words. It hits the heart. It doesn't have the. It's not going over their head. It's hitting them right in the heart, whether they tell you or not. So if you're saying you never do this, you never do that, you always doing this, you always doing that, whatever the case is, it's not never.
It's like as humans, we need an extra adjective to help us. You always. My wife would say sometimes, "Really, babe? I always," or "I never." And I'm like, "Never mind. Let me start over, babe." And
then using why. Why is very accusatory.
Yeah.
Because it tells that person you have done something wrong. You've done something wrong. Or it could, if it gets deep enough, it could tell that person you are wrong.
Yeah. So that you find a way to make yourself right going in. Why did you're automatically saying I did it, or that or that they did it when they were talking to you, rather than saying there's other ways to bring that, and we call that starting a little softer.
It's always a better way to bring something to your spouse. Yeah. That's not,
and that's for the men and the women, because we have a lot of times we'll think that, well, I was right because I'm the husband. I was right because I was the wife. No, you don't come in. When I start off with why, babe, why did you? She's like, something already comes up with her, like, yeah, like, well,
out the window.
I only need to listen to you because you're already telling me I did it. You don't even know if I did or did not. But we have to change that word why and remember that communication matters, and we want to have a good communication with each other. We have to want that to go further in our marriage.
This is so good. It's so rich, you all. We're spending some time tonight talking with the McDowells tonight, and they are not only the region's marriage coaches in the area, but our marriage coaches as well. Come to our events, and we serve on their team. They've got something that's coming up here that I think will help couples really, really stay in alignment with each other, dear. That's called Marriage Boot Camp. Let me see if I can just put this up on the screen because I want everyone to be able to see this. And Coach Dwight, tell us a little bit about this tonight in terms of what Marriage Boot Camp is about. When is it? What's taking place? I think it's something that can help couples come into alignment with each other. Y'all go ahead.
It is. The Marriage Boot Camp started from an idea back in 2001 from Youth Boot Camp. I am prior military service, and but you don't have to be military service to be a part of this event. It's just is one of those added parts you can use. So anyway, we did this for about 20 years with only young people. And then one day, as we were building Marriage Map about 6 or 7 years ago, somebody said, well, why don't y'all let married couples do boot camp too? And we thought, maybe we should. And so what happens is, so then we incorporated marriage boot camps, and we've done them in different countries and different states. And what happens is you will receive a lecture and from us what type of whatever we're certified in. We're certified in quite a few different areas to talk about it, communication and conflict and sex and money, all those different things in marriage. However, after you get a 15 or 20-minute lecture, you got to go in and have a challenge. And the challenge is because it could be shooting a basketball shot. It could be carrying donuts down the street and have to figure out how to do it when you don't have no way to carry them. And this, we don't tell anybody what the challenges are until the day of the event. And then, so a couple, we have a squad leader couple, and then they'll have 2 or 3 other couples in their group. And then they compete in these different challenges all day long. Even in the workshops that we have, you'll get points the whole day. At the end, and there's music, there's box lunches, there's the date time during that time, there's continental breakfast, and then at the end of the day, we have a huge award ceremony. And I'm telling y'all, Johnsons, if y'all get a chance to see these people competing, we've had them in every age, young in marriage, just got married, to older in marriage, been married 30 and 40 years, just compete all day long. And when we had a video that we share with a lot of people, and it shows just one of the boot camps in progress, and people are done at the end of the day. They celebrate, they shout, they jump up and down, because you had to literally focus all day. You'll hear the commands of calling attention on deck and things like that, so that you focus. It calls you attention so you can focus on your marriage all day long. Some people come in, we challenge you to come. Some people come in, they're not on the same page that morning. They had a fight that night before, but we challenge you to get there. And when working through that, we've seen people, whole marriages turn around in the midst of people that weren't even talking when they started the day. By 2 hours in, they're hugging and kissing each other because they need each other to get through this event. They cannot do it without. They need each other. They can't do it without each other. And so then each couple is competing against each other while they're in squads competing against more couples. There may be a lip sync challenge. And the reason why we do the challenges is because in marriage, you don't know which way a challenge is coming. We always call it, everything is an attack from the enemy. Sometimes it is, but sometimes it's just a challenge in your marriage that helps y'all get bigger, better, and stronger. And it could be simply one of the kids are going another direction. It could be, how are we going to pay this bill? Or it could be, how are we going to start our business? We're not seeing eye to eye. Whatever a challenge is. And babe, I don't want to tell you, you tell more about how the day goes as well.
I love the pieces because the couples have to come together. And if you have a spouse that's, well, they don't like competition, bring them to this boot camp. I promise you the competition in them will come out, because it's friendly competition. It's their squad, this one squad, married couples against another squad of married couples, and they compete all day to be the Iron Squad. So it's June 20th, which is a Saturday, from 9:30 Check-in is at 9. We're going to start promptly at 9:30. And it ends at 3:30. We're going to try to get everybody out the door at 3:30. But sometimes they have so much fun and they're celebrating so much at the end of the day.
Yeah, we're dancing and celebrating at the end. Who's winning, and we have first, second, and third place prizes, trophies, and awards. And we challenge you to come. Now, this is the reason why this is so unique, because it's close. It's close to the south side. It's close to the peninsula this time, because this is the first time we brought it back to the home area in over 4 years.
Yes.
We've been to different countries with it, different states. And now we're bringing it back here. So we encourage you to come. We only take a certain amount of couples. We are getting close to our number. So, but if you are listening to this show tonight and you and your spouse, this is not only for married couples. This is for married couples. This is for engaged couples. And this is for couples that are seriously dating. If you're looking to see if there's what other level can we go to do some maintenance in our relationship, this is where you should be. I'm just inclined tonight, where what it says on the flyer. But if you mention you were on the Johnson show, we're gonna give you half off. You can register for half off, just like that. And you can only say it because you mentioned that you was on this show. So I challenge you, put it in the chat that you're interested. But when you talk about having fun together, you talk about growing together, you talk about working together, you will do it at our marriage boot camp. Yes. I'm telling you.
So what I'm seeing on the flyer is it's $125 per couple. If they register by tomorrow, it's $85.
Yes, sir.
And then you'll give 50. Did I say you say 50% off?
50%.
Yep.
50% off of the registration fees if you mention that you watched on June 1st. That's June 1st, the Begin Again podcast. If you watched tonight on all of our different social media platforms, put it in the chat. Inbox us. Here is the contact information for the McDowells here. You can email them right at maintainmarriage@gmail.com, but you need to put in that you saw this and you watched on the show tonight. And just to make sure, Coach, if we can just make sure that people really watch, they got to be able to tell you what were one of the points that we made about how to keep couples aligned. That way we know they really did watch.
That's good. That's good.
So they put that in. And then to be able to receive the 50% off, you can email them right at maintainmarriage@gmail.com. Check them out at maintainmarriage.com. You had me sold when you said competitions and challenges. And so we're going to make sure.
One other thing on the website, it says you got maintain marriage. It should be marriagemap.com.
We'll change it right now.
All one word, .com. Shouldn't be maintained. Marriagemap.com.
Marriagemap.com. Somebody put that in the chat tonight while I fix this really quickly. You had me tonight when you started talking about couples challenges. Tell me about some of the things that I know you can't give it all away, but just give me a little bit of what.
Okay, I'll give you an example. Sometimes you may have to, everybody in the squad has to take a basketball shot. So you need everybody. You can't say, well, he's never shot basketball before, or she may, you want everybody to participate because anybody might hit the shot for the points. Or you don't want to say, I don't want a couple that's in their 70s in my group, because we may have a challenge that's about wisdom and you need their wisdom. It may be about history and you need their wisdom. Or you don't want to, or you might be a challenge that you got to listen to your husband's voice and not have your eyes open and literally have to be guided by him the way the word of God says that being led by your husband. So it's so many challenges. Or you may have to
take an egg with a spoon across the
gym in a certain amount of time, and you need both of y'all to hold it and do it. You got to figure it out together. Everything is together in boot camp. And so the challenges are so intense, and sometimes you may have to come up with a routine to lip sync a song, anything. It could be, you don't know the challenges until the day of, but those are some of them. And then in the lectures that are given, we use different topics. We wrote something called Heart Work. Marriage is heart work. So if there's a topic on there and you listen and you ask a great question, you can get points for that. Everything is about points that day. And everything is about working together in such a way that it turns that when we're done, we see people holding hands and they weren't even talking to each other when they came in the building. So because you need each other. We have sometimes you'll be able to, sometimes we have to pray for couples, each other, and the couples have to pray for each other's strength to go on, because you don't want anybody to go home, because you need every single person your whole time. You want to finish with every couple you started with by the end of the day. So it's intense.
Wait. What are the prizes again?
we do trophies, real tall trophies. We go by people's houses years past, and you'll see trophies and medals on their wall. We do Sometimes we have gift cards there. Nobody knows what we're giving away until we're there, until you're there and you win. But it is first, second, and third place. But we have 4 and 5, 6, 7 squads competing to be the number one squad all day long. It's amazing. And then we have sometimes we have most valuable couple that the squad chose you as the most valuable that helped them get through.
Yep.
Oh, nice. And you said food?
Yeah, you'll have box lunch and you have continental breakfast
day.
the whole day. You have snacks all day and healthy drinks all day long.
All day long.
Okay, praise his name.
We want to keep you energized to keep going. Yep. So we have sometimes we have a resident nurse on there just in case somebody's tired, or if we don't want nobody to get dehydrated or anything like that. We have had childcare in the past when people need it. We try to take away all the what ifs. I would come if just come to boot camp and spend the day working on your marriage. That's what I try. And come to boot camp and spend the day working on your relationship. Period.
So give us the dates again of the event. It's taking place on June the 20th.
Saturday, June the 20th, from 9:30 to 3:30. Doors open at 9 a.m. We want to start right on time. It's going to be at the East Ocean View Community Center because we wanted it in the middle of our community. So anyone is welcome to come. And 9520 20th Bay Street. First time we've had it in Norfolk, at home in the state, really, in 4 years. So we wanted to bring it back and get it while it's hot. Just come on out.
And let me say this: if you're watching from a different state, we have people that are already registered coming from different states right now. So take that off the table too. They use it as a getaway. They get a hotel and they're spending the night when they finish boot camp and hanging out in the city. This is in Norfolk, Virginia. So we got people coming from different states and different cities that are within Virginia, but different cities that are far, and they use it as a getaway time to come and work on their marriage and then go have dinner together or go and spend the night. And prayerfully, it takes y'all higher in another level later on that night. Somebody will catch that later on.
I know that's right. This is so good and so rich. So good and so rich. Thank y'all for being on with us tonight. Y'all hang out with us for 2 more minutes. We got 1 or 2 more things to share, and then we're going to be done tonight. You know what, Coach? I found something online that can really help couples be able to be aligned with each other so that God's presence can be released in the earth through them in terms of what God's called them to do. Let me see if I can pull this up on the screen and so that people will have a chance to see this. Y'all hang with us just 1 second if I go there.
No
then
problem.
if I come here.
Of couples who are perfectly matched. First, they naturally don't play games. No chasing, no ghosting, no playing hard to get. Second, they feel safe to be their truest selves in front of each other. Unfiltered, cozy, dramatic, even a little ridiculous. Third, they act childish. They act like kids who never grew up. One is afraid of cold, the other is afraid of heat. Fourth, after fights, they're the first to fold. Breaking up isn't even on the table. They'd rather argue, laugh, and repair. They're willing to tolerate each other and communicate well. Fifth, they occasionally throw a little tantrum, relying on the other's love. At home, they tease and fool around with each other. When out, they miss each other. Sixth, they unconsciously want to hold, lean on, or cuddle each other as if they have no bones. Seventh, they want to share everything, big or small, with each other. The moment they find something delicious or fun, they want to share it.
Wow. Just absolutely just wow, 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 wow. Give me your thoughts on that, just about what you heard in terms of what she shared about things that are good for couples. Is that the kind of stuff that Marriage Boot Camp gets into a little bit?
Yeah, we really are big on what that video showed me. The first thing I saw was friendship.
Yeah.
We're big on the couples being friends. We're like, I am his best friend.
Yeah, there ain't no replacement. There's no in between. He is my best friend. And those things that they were saying on that video is absolutely the thing. If something happens to me, the first person I want to call is him. All the things, they're getting away together. They're doing things together. We can't do the same all the time. We have to. That's why our email is maintain marriage, because we have to maintain. We have to do things that are different, do things together. Be friends. What do you do with your friends? You talk to them. You laugh
nice
with them. See, when we're together, we joke with each other.
Yeah.
We laugh. Our love language is football, and we haven't said that the whole time. But I'm a diehard Cowboy fan. She's a diehard Eagles fan. But that thing brings us together. Sister Johnson, something wrong with your neck or something?
Yeah, show's over.
But those are the things. So yeah, and then you notice how they were falling in each other's arms. we laugh, we joke, we go on golf cart rides together. All those things that you would do when you were first dating, we doing them at 37 years in, and that's how we encourage couples to do.
And those things are very important. We do this golf cart chronicles thing sometimes on our Instagram. And last night or the night we did it, the word was spontaneity. You know, you want to be spontaneous sometimes. You want to my husband's like, okay, come on, let's go take a golf cart ride. I wouldn't do anything but that. But I jumped in the golf cart and we just hung out and rode around the neighborhood. But it's those things that they were saying on that video, cuddling together. You're the first person I want to tell some information to. You want to joke, and sometimes you want to throw a tantrum. Yeah, you do. Yeah. So those things, but you come out of those tantrums quicker when you know that the person on the other side is understanding. Like, babe, I'm sorry, I said that wrong. Let me start over. There's a way to repair things. So yes, everything.
And if you're not there, this is what we're telling you to strive to, couples, because that's what boot camp will help you do.
Yes.
Because when if I'm going through something, I don't pick up and call somebody. I call my wife before I call anybody, because she is my homie. She's my best friend. And when I want to watch football, I go to her and ask what the schedule is for the games, because we hang out like that. And that's what we tend to get married to kids. We blame it on the kids while we're not coping with each other, or not dealing, and all those things. No, all those things is what brought us together. And so we hang out and we do those things together, take trips together, take walks together. And I'm encouraging everybody to do that. Boot camp will help you learn that.
Boot camp
or get back to that too.
Yes, exactly.
I got one more video.
Some of that.
One more video I want y'all to comment on. Maybe this. I know this is us during the consecration season when you get ready to start fasting. I'm not sure if this is any other couple, but just staying in alignment. I like this video because if you're gonna be wrong together. But just check this out. Give me some comments on this one right here.
Minds of couples who are perfectly matched. First, they. Second, they feel.
This one.
That's good.
If you're gonna be wrong together, like you said.
Don't be sitting there blaming each other. Well, you did. We just did. Now come on, let's eat some of this chicken and noodles and let's go.
Right? She was sharing, and you see he opened his mouth to get a bite of that chicken or whatever they were eating. He's like, "Oh, we in this together." So you're doing things together, right? You're gonna be wrong together, and that is so funny. Like, okay, let's start over tomorrow. just go ahead and eat it tonight, and let's pray and let's start over tomorrow. So that's exactly what we're gonna do things together. It's everything. Even if we're trying to make a decision and I don't know, my husband trusts my gut. He always says, "Man, I trust your gut. Well, what we're gonna do here." And I don't know. I have to say, it takes me a couple of days to say I don't know, because I'm really praying and trying to figure that out. And when I say I don't know, but I trust you, go ahead and do whatever you have.
I beat on my chest and she says, "I don't know, but I trust you." That means if I mess it up, if I get a right decision wrong, she trusts I'm just doing the very best I can do. And that's how we can do. Hey, Bishop, I do want to say something about this flyer. We talked about the website and the email, but if you just go to that flyer and somebody's interested in going, you just scan that QR code.
Oh yeah,
you'll go right. It'll take you right to the thing. You just put in the amount that you're doing, whether it's whatever we said half price. If you put it right in, then it'll ask for your name and number after that and email. But do that on there. Just scan it. It'll take you right there.
And some of those pictures come from our boot camp we did in Chicago, South Carolina. Different places. So we don't want to crowd it too much with the photos. But yes, we're talking at boot camp about binding together, coming together, being one. When the word says, God's word says, and the two shall become one. This is all in the becoming. Yeah. We think we became one immediately. No,
come on.
All as you go along in your marriage, it's all the becoming one. Yeah. It's a whole process. So we're one in Christ, and we're still becoming in how our attitudes and how we ebb and flow together and all that kind of stuff. But we are challenging couples to walk this thing out. Marriage that God made, it was his idea. It was not a man idea. It was God's idea, and he honors it. And we want you to walk it out. even when challenges come, even when competition comes, we have friendly competitions, all the time. Oh, don't even talk about football. Our living room is split right down the middle, but we work it out.
Yeah, we do.
But we're learning how to continue becoming, whether you're married, remarried, engaged, seriously dating, thinking about or talking about marriage. We want you to come to this boot camp seminar.
Well, thank you all so much for being here. Let me just ask one more question.
Oh,
We
yeah.
kept y'all way over time. We know we
it's
have.
okay.
Y'all are our friends, and we're honored to be on your show.
having
Thank
us.
you for having us.
But I heard you mention remarried. Is there going to be any kind of track in there at all for blended families or couples who are second time?
That's as far as we can go. That's as far as we can go. There will be something for every family that is a covenant marriage, whether they're blended, whether they're just starting for the first time, whether they're redoing it again. It will be something in there for that completely.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
We can't tell you what the challenges will be, but they'll be there.
Good. Anything else you want to share, dear?
No, I just thank you and appreciate that the both of you coming online with us today. Thank you for hanging on. I don't know if any of our guests had anything to say or any questions, but just really, really grateful for y'all coming on here. So you said we going on the 20th, right?
Yeah, we going on the 20th. I said they got
sign up. We're looking for y'all there.
Let me put these up, Coach, just in case somebody says, well, I didn't see what the points were. So purpose is one, perspective is another, priority is another one. And then they brought to us tonight about communication matters. And we never want to use these statements, always, never, and why.
Yeah.
Make sure you mention that when you email them. Here's how you get in touch with them. Marriagemap.com is the email. Maintain your marriage at gmail.com. You get 50% off if you get it done tonight and tomorrow. Get it done tonight and tomorrow. We'll see you there on the 20th. Y'all, thank you so much.
Mention that they watch the broadcast.
You have to mention that you watch the broadcast in order to receive that. Y'all, thank you so much. We'll let y'all get back to your family time. Everyone have a good evening. We got a whole lot more word, but we don't got that much more time. So we'll see y'all. Everybody, take care.
Thank you so much.
Bless y'all.
Thank you. Bless you.
Bye-bye.